does it say when a city's vision of opportunity leaves so many without homes? In Detroit, Michigan, that question cuts to the core of a deepening crisis. Once a symbol of America's industrial power, Detroit now struggles with homelessness, a painful reminder of broken dreams.
Well, first of all, with homeless, it can happen overnight. You know, it just happens. Maybe because of the things that's going on in the world today, maybe because of some of the bad choices that we make or what have you, but this is what it is.
This documentary examines the human cost of this problem framed within a city fighting to recover. Homeless in America is more than a number. It is a call to confront failures. Through stories of hardship and resilience, we uncover why this crisis endures who it harms most, and which solutions offer hope, mirroring a wider challenge confronting the nation. The scale of the crisis. Detroit's homelessness crisis runs through the city, both plainly seen and quietly hidden. On any given night, people curl up in doorways, take shelter in abandoned buildings, or pack into overcrowded shelters. The 2024 point-in-time count documented 1,125 people experiencing homelessness in Detroit, a 16% increase from the year before. In a city of just over 600,000 residents, that number is a stark warning of a growing divide. Downtown Detroit's polished luxury apartments and busy restaurants stand in sharp contrast to improvised tents only blocks away, revealing the gap between economic renewal and deep social inequity. For many residents, Detroit's celebrated revival feels like a far-off promise, unreachable as living costs climb.
Sleep on the steam drain for warmth, panhandle for money, for food and whatnot, with zero overhead. I mean, it's not totally impossible.
Since 2022, rents have risen 12%, while the minimum wage has stayed fixed at $10.33 an hour. For low-wage workers, a single mother, a service worker, or a retired senior one, missed paycheck can trigger eviction and a fall into homelessness. Beyond those visible on the streets, thousands more live on the edge of stability. The hidden homeless move between couches, squeeze into relatives' homes, or survive in motels, always one step away from the street. This fragile reality reveals the true breadth of the crisis far beyond what statistics alone can capture. Why, in a nation as wealthy as the United States, do cities like Detroit fail to guarantee basic shelter for everyone? This question grounds our documentary, pushing us to look beyond surface-level solutions. Homeless in America is not only a Detroit issue, it is a national one rooted in systemic breakdowns that leave families, veterans, and others at risk. Every story we encounter, from a child missing school to a veteran sleeping in a park, underscores the urgent need for responses equal to the scale of the crisis. As we continue, we will examine how Detroit's history and policies shape this struggle, calling for answers that move past temporary fixes to confront the root causes behind this enduring divide. The origins of the crisis. To understand Detroit's homelessness emergency, we must untangle the city's layered history and deep-rooted systemic struggles. Detroit's decline from its mid-20th century industrial height reshaped the city's destiny. The collapse of the auto industry wiped out tens of thousands of jobs, unleashing widespread economic distress. Factories closed, neighborhoods emptied, and poverty spread.
and that's one of them. I made my money by picking up cans and bottles, digging in dumpsters, and I would guess I walk about 20 miles a day because I go all over town.
Today, nearly 30% of Detroit residents live below the poverty line, almost 3 times the national average of 11%. This economic collapse laid the groundwork for the housing crisis gripping the city today, creating conditions where opportunity feels distant for many. Yet poverty alone cannot explain the growth of homeless in America. One of Detroit's most powerful drivers is the extreme lack of affordable housing. Over the past decade, gentrification and redevelopment have transformed the city's core, driving up property values and rents. Formerly essential public housing developments have been torn down or converted into luxury properties, leaving low-income residents with limited choices. A 2023 report found that only 15% of Detroit's rental units are affordable to households earning under $30,000 annually, including service workers, retirees, and people with disabilities. For these residents, rising prices translate into constant risk of displacement. Mental health and addiction further intensify the crisis. Many people experiencing homelessness in Detroit struggle with untreated mental illness or substance use conditions that undermine housing stability. Yet Michigan's mental health system remains severely underfunded. In 2024, the state allocated only $3.2 billion to mental health services, well below what is required to meet increasing demand. Without access to therapy medication or recovery programs, vulnerable individuals like James, a former mechanic facing depression, stay caught in cycles of instability and despair. His experience reflects a larger failure to prioritize mental health care. Racial inequality also drives the crisis. Detroit is 78% African American, and systemic obstacles, redlining discriminatory lending, and unequal access to education and employment disproportionately affect Black residents. Black families in Detroit, for example, face eviction at 3 times the rate of white families, a stark consequence of decades of harmful policy decisions. These structural injustices deepen homelessness risk, weaving the crisis into the city's foundation. Why do such systemic breakdowns persist in a nation capable of reform? That question forces us to confront the root causes: economic decline, housing shortages, insufficient healthcare, and racial inequality that continue to fuel homelessness in Detroit and across the country, demanding responses that go beyond symptoms to address the forces driving this enduring crisis. The human side of the crisis. Who is most affected by homelessness in Detroit? The reality is as wide-ranging as it is devastating, encompassing families, women, veterans, and young people, each facing distinct obstacles, yet bound together by a struggle for stability within a system that too often lets them down. Their experiences expose the human weight of this crisis and push us to reckon with its deeper meaning. Families, particularly those raising children, face overwhelming hardship. During the 2022-2023 school year, 1 in 19 students in Detroit public schools experienced homelessness, a figure that highlights the crisis's heavy toll on children. These young people lose more than shelter. They endure interrupted schooling, declining physical health, and lasting emotional scars. A child sleeping in a shelter or a car often misses school, falls behind academically, and faces a greater risk of lifelong poverty. The consequences ripple forward, placing an entire generation's future at risk. women, especially single mothers, face heightened vulnerability. Many like Latoya, a 34-year-old mother of two, featured in our documentary Escape Domestic Violence, only to find safety out of reach. With affordable housing scarce and shelters frequently, full women like her confront an impossible choice: stay in an abusive home or sleep on the streets. Latoya's story reflects a wider pattern of gender inequality, where women face added burdens such as crushing childcare costs and discrimination at work. These barriers deepen their struggle, locking them into cycles of uncertainty. Veterans carry a disproportionate share of the crisis as well. Despite their service, many return home to unemployment and untreated trauma. The US Department of Veterans Affairs reports that 11% of homeless adults in America are veterans, a reality echoed in Detroit. John, a 52-year-old Army veteran, described how untreated PTSD led to job loss and eviction. His fall into homelessness underscores a national failure to care for those who served, forcing them to navigate a broken system alone. Young people aging out of foster care face similarly harsh realities. Without family networks or financial support, many end up on Detroit streets, exposed to exploitation and chronic poverty. Local programs meant to support these youth are limited, often leaving them without direction. How can a city rebuild its future while abandoning its most vulnerable? This question demands a shift in priorities, calling for solutions that lift up families, women veterans, and young people. Their stories are more than numbers. They are a call to action, urging the creation of a system that offers dignity, stability, and hope for everyone. Government responses and their limits. Addressing homelessness in America requires more than good intentions. It demands decisive, coordinated action. In Detroit, local and federal governments have launched initiatives to confront the crisis, yet their results remain inconsistent, often falling short of what the city truly needs. One widely supported approach is Housing First, which prioritizes placing people into permanent housing before tackling challenges such as addiction or mental illness. Studies show this model can cut chronic homelessness by as much as 80% in certain cities. Since 2022, Detroit has adopted Housing First, moving more than 500 individuals into stable housing. Still expanding the program has proven difficult, as funding and infrastructure have not kept pace with rising demand. Another key tool is the Federal Housing Choice Voucher Program, better known as Section 8, which helps low-income families afford rent. Its reach, however, is limited. In Detroit, voucher waitlists stretch for years, leaving many families stuck in uncertainty. For someone like Maria, a single mother juggling two jobs, the delay means months in a shelter with her children's stability constantly at risk. Detroit's 2025 budget sets aside $12.4 million for homelessness prevention, supporting shelters, mental health care, and job training. While meaningful, this sum represents only a small share of what's required to confront the crisis at scale, leaving many people without housing. At the federal level, the US Department of Housing and Urban Development's Emergency Solutions Grant Program strengthens local efforts, delivering $2.8 million to Detroit in 2024 for rapid rehousing and shelter expansion. Even so, advocates argue the funding barely scratches the surface of actual need. Bureaucratic delays further hinder progress, frequently postponing assistance for months, and leaving vulnerable people without immediate help. These shortcomings point to a larger problem government programs, though well-meaning, often function as temporary bandages rather than lasting solutions. Are existing policies capable of breaking the cycle of homelessness, or do they simply treat the symptoms? This question sits at the center of Detroit's challenge. To truly confront homelessness policy must address root causes, poverty, lack of housing, and insufficient mental health care instead of relying on short-term fixes. For every person placed in housing, many others remain caught in instability, their lives underscoring the urgency of systemic reform. Without a commitment to long-term strategies, including greater investment in affordable housing and expanded access to healthcare government efforts, risk falling short, leaving Detroit and cities across the nation struggling to deliver on the promise of stability for all. Community-driven solutions. While government programs provide an essential framework for addressing homelessness in America, Detroit's grassroots organizations represent the true heartbeat of the response, stepping in where policy gaps remain with compassion and creativity. These locally led efforts deliver not only immediate assistance, but also a sense of possibility, reshaping lives through practical, people-centered approaches. By filling holes in the system, they reveal what can happen when local commitment meets action, even as their reach is limited by scarce resources. One of the most inspiring examples is Tiny Homes Detroit, an initiative that builds small sustainable houses for people facing chronic homelessness. Each home, constructed for about $15,000, offers more than a roof. It restores stability and dignity. Combined with wraparound services such as job training and counseling, these homes give residents tools to rebuild their lives. Since 2018, the program has housed dozens of people, including Marcus, a former factory worker who lost everything after being laid off. This isn't just a house, Marcus explained. It's a chance to begin again, to feel human once more. Tiny homes. Detroit shows how small-scale ideas can create lasting impact, strengthening community and independence in a city seeking renewal. Equally powerful is the Empowerment Plan, a non-profit that hires homeless women to make coats that transform into sleeping bags. Given free to those in need, these coats provide warmth and safety, while the women gain job skills, steady income, and a path out of poverty. Veronica, a former participant, shared how the program changed her life after years on the streets. "It wasn't only a paycheck," she said. "It gave me back my purpose and my pride." By meeting urgent needs while supporting long-term progress, the Empowerment Plan highlights how community creativity can address homelessness with both compassion and effectiveness. Local businesses and faith-based groups also strengthen these efforts. Churches across Detroit serve hot meals and distribute clothing, offering lifelines to people in crisis. Businesses such as Eastern Market, a historic center of commerce, support job training initiatives that help unhoused individuals return to work. These efforts, though small in scale, reflect a city working together. Still, their reach is constrained by limited funding and capacity. One church may feed dozens while thousands go hungry. One job program may train a handful while many more wait. How can these solutions be expanded to reach everyone who needs them? That question pushes us to elevate community work through greater support, increased funding, stronger partnerships and policies that encourage local innovation. Detroit's grassroots organizations demonstrate what compassion in action can achieve, but their full potential depends on closing the gap between localized success and system-wide change. As our documentary follows these stories, it urges us to support and grow these efforts, helping ensure every Detroiter has access to stability, dignity, and hope. A way forward. Homelessness in America reflects a crisis of misplaced priorities, and Detroit stands at the center of this struggle. The city's resilience, rising from industrial decline to a renewed downtown core, offers reason to believe it can face this challenge. Still, hope by itself cannot end homelessness. Decisive coordinated action is required, expanding affordable housing, reinforcing mental health care, and dismantling racial and economic inequities. These measures demand not only vision, but sustained commitment. Imagine a Detroit where no child sleeps in a shelter, where veterans like John are honored with stable homes, and where families like Latoya's live in safety. This future is within reach through focused investment. For instance, expanding Tiny Homes Detroit to $1,000 units could house nearly every chronically homeless resident in the city. Doubling Michigan's mental health budget, now at $3.2 billion, could deliver treatment to thousands disrupting the cycle of instability. These are not impossible goals. They depend on political resolve and public backing. This documentary is more than a record of suffering. It is a call to action. You, the viewer, have the power to spark change. Support organizations like the Empowerment Plan, which equips homeless women with meaningful employment. Volunteer at local shelters to offer immediate help. Advocate for policies that put housing and healthcare first. Every effort, no matter how modest, brings Detroit closer to fairness. How do we create a city that leaves no one behind? That question demands an answer, pushing us to act with urgency. By backing community solutions and pressing for systemic reform, we can help Detroit and all of America live up to its promise of opportunity for every person. Together, we can transform vision into reality, shaping a future where homelessness is not a permanent crisis, but a solvable challenge met with compassion and determination. Conclusion. Homeless in America is not a problem beyond solution, but it is a measure of who we are. In Detroit, this crisis exposes both the city's hardships and its capacity for transformation. Rising from the wreckage of industrial decline, Detroit is rebuilding, yet real progress requires that no one is left behind. The experiences of Latoya, John, and Veronica remind us that every statistic represents a human being worthy of dignity and hope. As this documentary comes to an end, we face a choice to accept homelessness as a permanent feature of city life, or to fight for a future where everyone has a place to belong. Detroit's story is still unfolding, but through collective effort, government action, community, innovation, and public support, we can shift its course. The real question is not whether homelessness can be ended, but whether we are willing to act. Let us choose action today.